Let the record show that eyelet lace can be shirred.
Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater.
I really want to make myself some cottagecore style clothing, so that's what we're going to do this week. And it should be some stash busting, some scrap busting as well. So the first thing I want to make is just a simple puff sleeve shirred top. And I have this adorable eyelet lace fabric that I think would be so cute. The question is just, can I shirr eyelet lace? And a perfunctory Google search yielded no answers. It just yielded shopping results for eyelet lace dresses. I'm gonna give it a try. We'll see. We'll find out. I can see it potentially not working going through this embroidered design, but it's not super thick or stiff, so I think it'll be okay. So the story behind these random chunks of this fabric is I actually acquired it from my ex's mother. We were helping her pack up to move out of state, and she just had this box of fabric that she wasn't taking with her, and she gave it to me, which thank you so much for that fabric. I actually got a lot of use out of it, so shout out to her. 5 or 6 years ago, I tried to make a beach cover up out of this and did not have enough fabric to go over my hips, so that was a fail. I ended up scrapping that. You can kind of see this is still like the top piece of that. So now I just have all these little bits of this fabric. I think I have enough to create double the circumference of my chest and then still have enough for 2 rectangles to go around my shoulders. It's basically rectangles is what we're making. Just a big rectangle here that's going to be all scrunched up with elastic, and then 2 rectangles that are the sleeves that will be gathered with elastic at the shoulder and the I guess the cuff. If I end up not having enough for puff sleeves, then I guess I'll just make little spaghetti straps, but that's not what I want at all. I don't know, let's just start putting together pieces and see what happens. I started by connecting all of the pieces that would make the bodice and finishing the top edge. I have previously learned the hard way that it's best to do the shirring last. It's almost impossible to make changes once the fabric is all scrunched up. Here goes nothing. With all the bodice pieces connected in a big ring, I could do the shirring in the round, which was a bit easier and less time consuming, although this still took a full hour. Let the record show that eyelet lace can be shirred. Look how freaking cute that is. So now to make the sleeves, but the problem that I'm running into, as is often the case for me, is that I don't have enough fabric. Let's see if we can jerry-rig something. So I was going to try to add some length to this piece of fabric. Why does my hand look purple? Okay, anyway, yeah, I was going to try to add onto this with this scrap fabric, just making like an insert that would be under the armpit and wouldn't be so visible. But looking at this sleeve pattern rather than just making the rectangle, I feel like I can make that size of fabric work. But just to test that out, as usual, I'm going to do a mock-up and see how it goes before cutting into the very last 2 pieces of this eyelet fabric that I have. The mock-up turned out good enough for me, but before I got to work cutting out the real sleeves, I felt like they needed something to attach onto. I used the remaining piece of scrap fabric to create 2 little spaghetti straps to hold up the sleeves. I threaded elastic through each strap, then attached these tapeworms to the bodice. Then it was on to the puff sleeves. With both the shirt and sleeve inside out, I tucked the sleeve into the top and attached it to the raw edge of the strap. It's kind of hard to show this step with a shirt as fussy as this one was, and I probably should have waited to add the elastic in the spaghetti strap until after the sleeve was attached. Lastly, I gathered the bottom of each sleeve with an elastic band. The next thing I want to make is a patchwork tiered maxi skirt using up a bunch of scrap fabric that I've had saved up for a while. So I've actually already cut up most of it into the chunks that I'm going to use. Probably about 6 months ago I started planning this skirt, and I made each piece 8 inches long. I kind of have varied widths based on how much fabric I had, but I realized I like having the top tier of the skirt longer than that. So I actually am going to cut out a few more patches that are about 15 inches long to make the top tier, and then these will be all of the bottom tiers. The top tier was 1.5 times my waist measurement, and I used a 1.5 times increase in the circumference for each successive tier. So here's the top tier. I'm not going to close the loop yet until I put together the tiers that go underneath of it. That way I can lay them all out below it and see how the colors and patterns look together. I'm a little bit nervous that I don't have enough fabric to make this last tier, but I do still have a few more scraps that I might be able to squeeze some patches out of. So I don't remember where I left off with this. I don't remember what I filmed last. It's been a couple days since I was able to work on the skirt because it's been... Why is that unplugged? Why is that moved? Who moved our furniture? It's been a crazy couple of days, so I had to pause working on the skirt for a little bit. Where I'm at right now is I have all of the layers, all of the tiers assembled. I had just enough material to make them as long as I wanted to have a 1.5 increase with each descending tier. So thankfully that worked out. And I don't know why I thought this skirt would be much quicker to assemble than it is, because normally a tiered skirt is not that difficult, but this one has a million little pieces, and yes, I finished every single one of those seams. Now what I need to do is I'm going to complete the loop for each tier and then gather all of them and then attach all of them, and I think that's it. Yeah, it's going to be so much gathering, so much gathering. After gathering and attaching each tier, I added an elastic waistband and finished the hem. The last item I made was a headscarf from this square of fabric I've been toting around for the last decade. It kind of hurt me to cut this beautiful design in half, but it had to be done. I trimmed and hemmed the two side edges of the triangle and then connected the ends together to create the center back. Or is it center bottom? Whatever part is gonna go behind my head and under my hair, that part. I then folded over and sewed the front edge, leaving a portion of it open at the center back to add an elastic band. I'm just gonna squat because I don't feel like running in to get my microphone and I don't feel like readjusting the tripod. So those are my 3 pieces, all made out of scraps. There are still a few fit issues I need to adjust, as you can probably tell, but overall I think they're really cute pieces that will be good for just day-to-day wear. This shirt especially I think will be great to layer, especially if I do like a little off-the-shoulder thing with the puff sleeves. I think that'll be really cute. Definitely some usable everyday pieces for me personally, and I got rid of some scraps, which is always good. It's always good to get some use out of those. Leave a mushroom emoji down in the comments if you're still here and made it to the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!